Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, it says it's live.
Can you send the link?
Yes. Tell me if it's working and it's proper.
Yep, I can see it.
Sweet.
I'm gonna deafen myself on the Discord so I don't get like a double.
Okay, perfect. So the plan is this. What's gonna happen is that. Hey, Chief, can you like check your mic for a sec, please? We can hear like your background. Thank you. So the plan is this. I'm gonna do 3, 2, and go, like a bunch of times. So you press the play or the pause button once I say go. So instead of doing 3, 2, 1 and go, so 3, 2, go. It's shorter. We're gonna do it a lot. You're gonna thank me. The plan is this. I'm gonna explain a bunch of stuff. At any point, you may feel free to pause everyone. Just don't forget to 3 to stop. And yeah, everyone mute yourself and enjoy the show. So let's do a quick start test. I'm going to do it really slowly. Everyone be ready on your buttons. And 3, 2, go. Okay. Perfect. 3, 2, stop. Let's have a chat first about what's going on here. Double Shield, Brig Baptiste, they're playing on the old patch. Genji is still incredibly broken here. Widow Tracer. So the Widow Tracer is trying to do what the Ashe Genji is doing, but more passively, if you will. If the Ashe Genji wanna just hold your sightlines and brawl you until you die, and just spam you, until you're low and then the Genji goes in. The Widowmaker Tracer comp is trying to do the exact opposite. The Widow takes long sightlines, only picks sometimes, and the Tracer goes on off flanks. Off angles and like weird flanks. I want you to pay attention to a couple of things. Ability usage, supports. Pay attention to how Shaz is never actually using his shift unless someone on the other team used an ability to damage his team. Like, unless the Ashe uses dynamite or they all get halted or like there's a window open or something like that, he never actually presses shift. Like the area of effect healing that Baptiste has. Also, on the other side of the supports, pay attention to Big Goose's stuns and boops. He saves them. He uses them very scarcely. Tanks. I want you to pay attention to how OG and Space manage their shields and when they decide to hold combo, because that's really relevant. The timing of the hold combos is opportune, because hold combo, if you can get a pick, it buys you a lot of space, but you have to realize that the enemy team won't necessarily let that happen. So you'll see, no worries. Okay, DPS. Nothing to say much about Widow, except that don't die, click heads, I guess. Tracer, so the plan with Tracer here is pay attention how Kevstar never stops actually pressing left click. He always spams damage. Spams damage, click, reloads. Spams damage, reloads. Blinks around, goes on a different angle, spams damage, spams damage, spams damage. Not even meaningful damage, he's not looking for kills, he's just trying to charge his pulse bomb. The faster you can do it, the better. Okay, I think that's pretty much covers it. We'll go over ultimate usage once it's relevant. So, if everyone are ready, 3, 2, start. Okay, so flame passive, even shields, hold rock misses, they hold rock in return. It got nothing. Okay, wait, recharge your shields. Baptiste stops everyone off, try again. That hold got something, Space was like AFK for a reason. Didn't rock there. So Space is getting low, so notice that the tanks, when they get low, they group up together. Okay, Bigus overextends there and gets kicked by BQB. That's not only BQB clicking heads, by the way, that's a Discord orb and like a hold from Orisa. Let's do a 3-2 pause for a sec. 3-2 pause. Let's talk about what just happened. So, something I notice you are doing in a lot of your games, both Dawn and Horizon, is that you don't really group up with other players that are low HP for your Baptiste to heal them easily. So you see how the tanks, like Space got to half HP, he's hiding behind line of sight, behind card, and OG now is starting to get poked. So what Space does is he goes closer to OG, so the Baptiste can maximize his effective healing. Like he uses one MO, like one projectile thingy for heals, and heals both tanks. That's like half the time it would take to heal the tanks. And that really closes the window from the Mayhem to go over-aggressive and just finish them off. Just that simple act. Like, the difference here is that if they were not together and Baptiste had to spend twice the time in order to heal his tanks, the Mayhem could have very easily pushed into the tanks and just killed them. They have enough damage to break shields instantly and just focus them down and kill them. Okay, so let's do a 3-2 start. Okay, so they try a different angle, they go from inside, Space gets rocked, halted, and erased. He tried to go aggressive with the Kinetic Grasp, but Mayhem were ready. Now they're pushing over aggressive because they recognize the gladiators are not pushing that far, and because they have ults. Hyaki already has Blade, Gangnam Jim already has his window. So the reason they don't push that far back, they don't fall back that far back now, is because they want to use their ults aggressively, like extremely aggressively. They have ult advantage, they don't want to give them an inch of space. But a window in return, instantly matched with Immortality Field, but the second the Immortality Field goes down, that's the cue for Hyaki to pop up Blade. He doesn't pop Blade, like he had Blade before Gangnam Jin, but he doesn't use it. Until the one thing that counters the Genji Blade is gone. Okay, so now they don't have an ult advantage, so they just chill back. Space gets rocked again, Immortality Field is used, destroyed immediately. Ooh, very nice. So that was a whole team to bomb, and Birdwing is clicking heads. But now the Mayhem are in really deep trouble. If they were able to stabilize a bit better here, that window would be very effective, but they were already down a couple players and Immortality Fields, their shields were low, Sigma didn't have Grasp. They were really low on resources, so that ult didn't get as much value. Let's see here. The Mayhem chooses to push right from their perspective, so Space goes and scouts it out. Orisa gets halted and rocked, but matters very little. Genji goes on a flank in order to try and deal with the Widow. That's a very nice flex from Space. Very nice Immortality Field to match. And you see now the enemy Baptiste is only after the flex he uses his shift, his area of effect healing. Okay, let's do a pause, go over what happened. 3, 2, pause. So, what happened here is that... Okay.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
So, Space lands a massive flex. Hits 4 people, Orisa has no shift in order to avoid it. Immortality Field has to be used, and because Yaki didn't really have that much space to work with, he only kills Shaz later into the fight. So they used Immortality Field, they didn't have a really aggressive answer to the Flux, so they just decide to stop wasting ults and concede the fight. Okay.
Hey, Sha.
Okay, so let's do a 3-2 start.
Sha.
Now B. B is completely different from A on this map. A is like really wide, many sightlines, very high verticality, but B is more like closed, claustrophobic. There aren't many pathing options. There's only really left and right side, high ground, low ground. There's like only 4 paths you can potentially take. And the card has to do like a big roundabout. You have like 4 or 5 potential holding spots here for if you are the defense. So offense is just playing really passively. They're waiting for the defense to set up so they can form a plan how to break them. Yaki is going high ground. Shaz gets destroyed. Window into hold, into rock. Very impressive stuff. Now Yaki can really pop the blade. No Immortality Field. Mayhem use Immortality Field aggressively, so Yaki's blade doesn't get shut down. No, Kevster tries to run away, only get chased. Okay, so the Gladiator's mistake in that fight is that they waited for the Mayhem to set up. If they were to play hyper aggressively and try to go in with an ult, I think they would have had better luck in that fight. Now, Mayhem with a huge ult advantage, and the Gladiators know that, so they're just waiting. But they don't have a lot of time to wait, because there's only 60 seconds remaining.
Cease your resistance.
Do something.
Look how the Mayhem completely ignores the point, because it doesn't really matter how far you push into B, as long as you hold B. So they don't really care about the point. They're more interested in holding this high ground.
Smoke 'em out of
30 seconds remaining.
And Gladiators again went into that fight with a massive ult disadvantage, so there isn't much they can do. But now, Gladiators are coming up with 5 ults, potentially 6. And there's only 10 seconds remaining, so this is last fight territory. Let's see how it goes for them. They're pushing main, kind of deciding. Pop shields. That's a very nice hold. Only catches space. That's really unlucky by OG. Yeah, he kinda got caught there because Shaz. So let's do a 3-2 pause for a sec. 3-2 pause. So what happened there is that Space and OG weren't grouped up, but they were both low. So we come back to that example again with the positioning. If both, but it's overtime, so they don't have a lot of time to think about their positioning. They just have to like kind of play hyper aggressively and hope they don't die. But Mayhem just read them like a book, and yeah. So tanks are split up, both are low, but these can't keep up with the heal demand, and tanks die, lose point. Unfortunate. Let's do a 3-2 start. OG just misses the point. Really unlucky. Not that it matters so much. I don't think the Gladiators could have come back from this.
Score 0.
Too much of an advantage for
Switching sides.
what their name? The pink team. Yeah, pink team.
Initiating match.
Okay, so now gladiators are on defense. Let's talk quickly about what you want to do here on defense. So potentially you can try and hold spawn doors like the Mayhem did, but you kinda need to go into that fight with some sort of an advantage. Preferably a damage advantage from ults, but it's not necessary. Not necessarily. You can like change your comp to get more damage than the enemy team has, although it would be
Ready for battle.
quite tough with Zenyatta and Baptiste here. So, what the gladiators are gonna do? They're going back to their tried and tested comp, the
Attackers incoming.
Widowmaker
30 seconds.
and Tracer. By the way, this comp works way better on defense, because in defense Widow has sightline advantage, which she doesn't have on attack, and that's a very big difference. She can choose wherever she wants, she can rotate freely around all the sightlines and all the angles, but there's less space to work with for Kevstar's Tracer. He can't go on so many off-angle flanks.
Attackers incoming.
If he tries, he'll just be spawn doors.
Stop the
Okay,
payload.
so gladiators decide to take a very, very, very defensive angle here and build a crossfire. So the idea here is that you shield both sides, so you shield both sides of the card and you focus all your fire onto card. So they can only shield one of you effectively. And if they shield the both of you, Widow just clicks head from the middle. They keep falling back. By the way, let's do a pause for a sec. 3, 2, pause. So, gladiators recognize that Mayhem are playing compositionally way better than what gladiators have to offer. This matchup is just an unfortunate case of the meta just favors the Mayhem better here than the gladiators. Their comp is really strong, and it's not to say that it can't beat the Genji Ashe, but definitely in this situation the Mayhem can just get way more value from Ashe Genji rather than the Widow Tracer. So because of that, because they recognize that, they have to play super slow, because their name of the game is not take fights and win, is stall for as long as possible. That's the name of the game they are playing. And if you ever find yourself in a situation where the enemy team is like way better than you and there's literally nothing you can do what I went with Dawn over this, and they did it in like a game. You play the most cancerous heroes that can just stall the card for 7 years. And that they have spawn, like fast spawn timer. So Tracer is good. Because this is Overwatch League, they don't want to give away the double shield because they'll just get torn to shreds. But in comp you can definitely take Winston Hammond or like Diva Hammond and Tracer Soldier and like Moira and Baptiste, and just hang in there for as long as you possibly can. Okay, let's do a 3, 2, start. Now, Mayhem coming up on an ult from Gangnam Jin, so they're gonna have windows soon. Shaz is not far behind. Okay, space extends, dies, they use Immortality Field, and this is basically A.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
So Mayhem recognize really well that space is out of position and his shield is low. They just call it out, crack the shield, they volley the shield, he gets halted, he gets rocked,
Hello.
and he dies. And that's point A for the Mayhem. So one tiny positional mistake by space, and that's point A.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Ooh, that's a very nice hold by OG. Just boops everyone off the window, off the high ground. Yaki extends, gets caught. So let's pause for a second. 3, 2, pause. What happened there is that there was a call to go aggressive on the Mayhem side. They used window, they used shield on the high ground. They're trying to go really aggressive. They're trying to control the space, force them out of the staircase, or force them into here. If they jump from here to low ground, they can just rotate around. The Mayhem can just rotate around here and hold this high ground. Meanwhile, someone's on the cart. And there's nothing much the Gladiators can do. They're in a really disadvantage. So OG pulls like a massive hold. Pulls everyone off the high ground, and that's why Yaki dies there. Because the call went that, okay, play aggressive, we're gonna open window, we're gonna take space, we're gonna push into them, you can play aggressive, Yaki, go for it, nail it. But unfortunately they get halted off by an amazing play by OG, and Yaki just finds himself as a DPS playing hyper aggressively, but there's no space for him to exist in, so he dies. BQB soon follows after, as long as Gangnam Jin. That's just a reset for the Mayhem, but they don't mind really much. Because because the attackers have to invest heavily into A, so they come ill-prepared for B. Like, defenders usually have ult advantage going into B, especially if you manage to make the fight really expensive for the enemy team on A. But they have 4 minutes, and they know that they only have to play slowly. So the Gladiators' job here, burn time. You don't care about kills, you don't care about playing hyper aggressively, you only care about 2 things. Not dying, stalling for as long as possible. Let's see how they try to accomplish that. First of all, positioning. High ground on this point is like super important. You'll see them, hopefully you'll see them rotate into high ground many times, as soon as they chase Mayhem out. And ability usage. Save Immortality Field. Immortality Field is your one get out of jail free card, and if you don't use it wisely, that's just fight over and potentially map over for the Gladiators because of the situation. So let's see what happens, how it goes down. 3, 2, start. Yeah, Barem just hangs around, try to get his ult, he's 70%. If he can get like 2 headshots onto Space or OG, that's like more percentage.
Hello.
Yaki goes high ground, duels Kevster. Kevster is really trying hard to control this high ground here, because he knows if he concedes it, that's a free blade for Yaki. Okay, so everyone are pushing low. That's a very nice Sigma ult. Gets countered by the Immortality Field. But because they were out of line of sight, it doesn't really matter. Oh, never mind. Bordering clicks heads and Fate dies. That's your main tank, and that's a reset. Now, the reason they play hyper aggressively here is they're trying to make this as long a stall as possible. They know like, oh, Fate is dead and they can go in. Oh, Birdring, my friend. It's not good to be there. Okay, so they try to chase them to spawn, but they overstayed their welcome. But now Mayhem have 6 ults, and yeah, you're just playing aggressive.
Into the iris.
There's not much to cover here. I mean, there's nothing the Gladiators can do. Even if they were like 7 times better, Mayhem just has 6 ults into this fight.
Victory.
Okay, so that was not a very long game. But how do you avoid this? If you're the Gladiators, with like 20/20 hindsight, how do you avoid this outcome? Well, you don't play that passive. They basically conceded all of A for really not much effort by the Mayhem. I mean, if you're gonna lose every fight anyways, might as well just fight on point. I mean, hold spawn doors, camp on point. If you're gonna fight and die and give away all charge, might as well. because of the attacking team, they're trying to push in all the time, and the defensive team is already staying behind shields. Like they don't have to advance from like their spawn into cart and then deploy shields, all the while taking damage. That means the attackers usually have support ults before. And in our double shield meta, Window is like a fight winner. So your tanks are playing playing very aggressive. They group up, you heal them. The Baptiste gets like 80% charge in like 20 flat seconds. And then you window, and that's A. That's what basically the Florida Mayhem did there on their attack. So what do you do in return? Well, you try to shut that down. If you do 400 damage to Orisa, like 399, she doesn't die. She falls back. Now her healer has like 20% all charge from all the healing he's done. But if you do 400 damage to the Orisa, now she's dead, and their support gets nothing. So if you're gonna do damage to a target, make sure it dies. Otherwise, it's just free all charge for the enemy supports. That's something they didn't really capitalize on. They a bunch of times did a bunch of damage, and they didn't finish kills, and that just snowballs the enemy team. Especially if they're that good, like the Florida Mayhem are. Okay, we can do like another game here if you want.
I have a question first.
Yeah.
On the first round, I think Kevster was playing Tracer. He barely used his like the third blink. Like he always used the 2 blinks. He didn't use the third one. But on the second round, he always used all of the blinks. Is that the actual reason for that?
Yeah. So the reason for that is this. So you're saying on attack he rarely used his blink, and on defense he used it quite a lot. The reason for that is if you're attacking and your entire team is trying to push, they use resources, they use shields, they take a bunch of damage, they dish a bunch of damage. Like ults are starting to build all around on both teams. So on attack, if Kevster dies, he basically destroys the push for his team, and they now have to like re-give all the ult charge away to the enemy DPS and tanks. I mean, sure, it also goes for the supports, but it's not ideal. It wastes time if he dies, and it's really like negative value. So he always keeps on attack the third blink in case he has to use it if BQB is looking at him. In case BQB just decides to flick to the general area where Kevster is, Kevster has already blinked the fuck out of there, because BQB is actually quite insane on the Ashe. Just ask any other team that... ask any other Tracer player that is not Kevster or Shax or Doha or Decay. Like, besides all the insane Tracers, every other Tracer that played against BQB just had a rough day. Like an extremely rough day.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and on defense, he doesn't have to play that way, because if he dies, he can just spawn back. Like, it doesn't really mean that much for his team if he dies on defense. He can play hyper aggressively and like literally be in their spawn doors behind the attacking team and try to get a peek, maybe succeed, maybe not, and die. Like, worst case scenario, he dies. Best case scenario, obviously, he gets like peek or two. But worst case scenario, he dies. By the time the enemy team has healed up and grouped up and pushed, like waited for all their cooldowns, shields are recharging, so on and so forth, waiting for Kinetic Grass, waiting for Hold Rock, so on and so forth. By that time, he'll already join the next fight. So on defense, it matters less. On attack, it's very important that you don't die. Like a zero death attack, it can't possibly take you more than 2 minutes to complete. Like the entire map. You'll finish with like a minimum of a 5-minute time bank. Just for the fact that you're alive and the enemy team is not. That's like passive value. You're alive, the enemy team is not, value. You push cart as the attacking team, so on and so forth. Defending team, it's like the opposite. you're trying to stall the payload for as long as possible. So you're trying to play more aggressive. So the attack and defense are like reversed. If you try to compare the playstyle. So let's take 2CP for example. The defending team actually plays defensively. Like they're in no hurry to go anywhere. And the attacking team is the one that has to play like high, that like has to try hard in order to go in. But on attack, it's not necessarily like that. Like once the attackers win one fight, it becomes the other way around. Now that the attackers are pushing the point and the defenders are dead and respawning, the attackers are the ones that are now technically defending in the playstyle. And the defenders are now the ones that have to recontest the site. They have to like invest a bunch of stuff in order to go into the point. So if the attackers die and they reset, now they are playing the attacking playstyle, and the defensive team is playing the defensive playstyle. But the second the attackers are winning, the roles are reversed, and so the playstyle should be reversed as well. Okay, any more questions? Everyone are free to ask, by the way.
I don't have any other questions.
Nice.
I don't really have any questions. I just thought that Shaz's window usage was a bit naff. Like he used it just on himself a bunch of times, and the fight seemed to already be won and stuff like that.
So using your window, if you're just by yourself, it's perfectly fine. Because don't forget, when Baptiste has window, he can one-shot squishes if he's skilled enough. If you land 3 headshots, that's a one-shot on a squishy, on a 200 HP target. So opening your window just to yourself is not necessarily that selfish. It's just transitioning your heals, because he still does heals. Like if he's still in a position that he can see the enemy team and his team, it doesn't matter. He can safely open the window for himself. To exact opposite actually. If it sometimes can get even more value if he were with his team and he tried to open it there. Because you don't really expect the enemy Baptiste to take an off angle, open window and kill 3 of your team. 3 of your, like 2 of your supports and like 1 of your DPS. All the while healing his team for like way too much over a way longer distance. Because don't forget, the amp matrix also makes the projectiles fly twice as fast. So also twice as far. And also half the damage reduction. Window is like really effective. Beyond the damage, it's really effective. Suddenly it becomes easier to aim with Baptiste heals, easier to aim with Baptiste shots, and obviously they do more damage, so it's easier to kill people with, and easier to keep your tank alive. So opening the window selfishly is not necessarily a bad play. It can actually sometimes get massive value.
Yeah, he was also opening it like halfway through fights, as I don't think I'd ever usually do. Like we usually start with the window and then
yeah, because
see where it
it's
goes
the easiest window to engage with. But okay, Mayhem are not like bad players. They know when you have a window, and they probably can guess like 9 out of 10 times how are you gonna use it and how they gonna counter you. So not in Overwatch League, it's like very specific to them. You don't always want to start with the same ability. Let's say we Scream, like against the team. They may realize this by map 3, that you're always using windows to engage, and only then they might actually start counterplaying it. And then you'll realize, oh, window is not working anymore. We may need to use it in a different time. But for our ranks and what's relevant to us, either or, as long as you get value. If you open window, kill 3, it doesn't matter if all your team is standing behind you or none of your team is standing behind you. The point is that you try to get as much value as you can from your abilities. Same goes for the Baptiste area of effect healing that I talked about. If you just use it and you could have healed someone with your just basic heal shots, then that ability has gotten nothing. But let's say Ashe dynamites 5 of your players and you press shift, you'll have ult in like 4 seconds, honestly. So does the Ashe, by the way. Ashe Holt Dynamites are like insane. If you can, let's practice that. Let's practice that. We have like a bunch of players now.
What about like as Baptiste knowing when to DPS and when not to? Like, do I DPS more? Should I DPS more than I heal most of the time, or
it's not that simple. It's extremely situational. Is there anyone to heal? No. Spam one shot on heal to the general direction of your team and start doing DPS. Do 1 shot, 2 shots. And always keep your eyes on where your team is. Your Isa takes like 2 damage, top her off, keep doing DPS. Your Sigma use Kinetic Grasp, you can use Kinetic Grasp, he catches all the projectile, you can throw 1 heal to your team and then do damage to the entire duration of the Kinetic Grasp. With shields and so on and so forth. It's very situational. I can't say like one definitive answer that will apply to all the games. You just have to try and see what goes, I guess.
Yeah, I noticed a lot that Shaz was shooting a DPS close to him just to basically get him away, and so he had time to heal his tanks and stuff like that, rather than directly pursuing the kill kind of thing.
Yeah. All you want to do is to make the enemy DPS respect you. If the enemy DPS is super afraid of you because you've killed them 3 times, they're not gonna dive you like ever. They may swap, they may like not play dive hero at all, they may like just try to bother someone else. Like try and bother your tanks, for example, but then it just fail charge for you. So your point is not to kill the enemy DPS all the times they try to dive you. It's you're trying to make them respect you. Even if you trade kills, like one fight you kill the enemy DPS, the next fight the enemy DPS kills you, and it's like back and forth. It's important that you make as little mistakes as possible in that situation, so the enemy DPS respects you. Like eventually he'll give up, eventually, unless he's like Striker or someone. These guys never give up. Okay, so let's do a quick game. Username the break. Let's see who else here. Tyranty? I can't invite you for some reason. Oh, it's because you're already here. Okay, who else is missing? Or is it because I can't invite anyone else?
No, you can't invite anyone else. Wait, who's Arrow Keys?
Guess he doesn't belong here.
Oh. Wait, are you online, Dijon?
Yeah, I'm starting a Overwatch. Yeah, no.
I sent you a friend request.
Okay. Give me a sec.
Got all of King's Row Winter.
Let's do this on a different map though, like an easier map.
Yeah, I accepted it.
What map do you want? It really doesn't matter.
Well, are you just practicing?
Holt Dynamites, yeah.
Maybe Havana.
Yeah, actually.
That'd be fun.
Havana, na, na.
I
I just can't get that song out of my head. Someone heard it. Someone listened to it today in my work, and yeah, now it's stuck.
Nice.
Pyrethion.
You might as well sing it for us.
I mean, sure. I really don't want to, but sure. Pyrethion, you're coming online?
I am spectating your game. You may put me wherever you wish.
Nice. Okay, so the plan is this. Pyrethion, you go blue team. Everyone else, you go red team. And like, who's your main tank on your team?
We don't have one, but Dijon at the moment.
Okay.
The tryouts, yeah.
Okay, so the plan here, let's do a skirmish for a sec. We're gonna try this on a bunch of positions. Let's give all the heroes like movement speed. Go around the map. Okay, perfect.
Traveling to Havana.
So we should just play like a team, any team. Like Sigma, someone take Orisa, I'll take Brig. Someone take Bap.
Baptiste here.
Maybe put the cooldown of the build down.
No, no need. Everyone come to Brig. Everyone on the red team.
Ash here.
The Brig, fall back. Okay, so let's go everyone in our spawns like we're trying to go out. And, well, Dijon and Pyrathian, your job is to, while we're walking, we're gonna walk and stop, use shields, cooldowns, etc. And your job is just hold as many of us as you can and just dynamite us.
Where do we have to set up, or
It doesn't really matter, it's up to you.
Please move behind the barrier.
So let's go out.
Enemies in our orbit. Activating the barrier.
Do you want us to be dodging it, Coach, or we just...
No, 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 you're just taking it like champs. And don't shoot them, please. There too. Come on, guys.
Oh.
The Brig. Everyone come to Brig on point. We're gonna try the walk out of spawn thing again. So you're trying to throw the dynamite like 1 second after the hold. They don't really fly that faster from each other. So just try to hold us above shields.
Oh, okay.
Slow.
No, and you also have to throw the dynamite above shields
Yeah.
into the hold.
I didn't have to die. My bad.
Don't have it yet.
Oh,
Should have
she
lowered
doesn't.
the cooldown on the dynamite.
I can do that.
3
It
seconds.
takes a bit. Okay.
Do you have it?
Nice.
Thank you.
You have it?
I'm gonna die.
5 seconds.
You need to learn.
Yeah,
5
1
seconds.
sec.
4, 3, 2,
It
1.
takes a little bit, yeah.
Smoke them out of there.
Coming back.
You are advised to move behind.
I have spotted the enemy. Barrier in place.
Are we just what are we doing?
Yeah, I'm just updating the game mode so it's easier for the...
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Wait, I think I did it on the wrong team.
Traveling
1
to
sec.
Havana.
I can test it.
You increase the move speed as well.
Yeah, I did on the wrong team. 1 sec.
I'm fast now. I don't think the cooldown went down though.
Oh, wait.
Yeah,
No,
different team.
Oh, now it's fixed.
Yeah, let's go to
I am
the middle.
speed now.
Let's go to the middle of A. We're just gonna set up here like the Mayhem did very much. Everyone stand on Orisa and Brig.
Do I go
I
back?
would, I would
You play the game
appreciate
like this
less,
all the time.
car noises. Thanks.
Because then the cart looks
What
like
the
it moves.
Yo,
That's
go
hilarious.
Orisa Dijon.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone group up on Brig, please. Let's
Activating the
let's make this
barrier.
serious. Don't worry, each of the healscan DPSs will
Thanks
get
for
a
your
chance
mute, by
to
the way.
train this. Why the fuck am I muted then? Everyone group up on Orisa. And on yeah, everyone come to me.
Please move behind the barrier.
Okay, so let's do this.
Eyes on the bad guys.
No, you don't have to hold the enemy team, they have to hold you.
Oh, okay.
Look at your... Now, Tyranti, I want you to look at your ult charge. And I want you to look at your ult charge, Ash. Like, did you get like 50% out of this?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so imagine doing that. It's on a 12-second cooldown. Imagine doing that. Imagine having Bob every 30 seconds. Just imagine.
That would be pretty cool.
It's there, you just have to practice it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, let's group up everyone behind shield. Let's try again a bunch of times.
Come over here. Eyes on the bad guys.
We'll do it 3 times consecutively, successfully, then we'll try to like make it a bit harder for you. Ah,
Yeah.
didn't work. 3 times in a row. We're not moving, don't use abilities. 3 times in a row. Yeah, don't block it, the prick.
Too low. I keep throwing it too low.
Okay, so Orisa, you should do 3, 2, 1 before you hold, so your Ash knows what's up.
Yeah.
2, 1.
1 second before and hold higher. Like,
One.
Okay.
hold
yeah.
here,
Healing.
above shields.
Understood.
2, 1.
Almost. Need to land a shot. Try again.
I think the Preek ate it.
Yeah, the brigade ate my dynamite.
The prick, I'll ban you. Stop.
Alright, ready?
Try again.
To break me hungry.
Now I missed it.
Taking
Oh, the
out the
movement
trash.
speed is killing me. Alright.
This
ready?
is exactly why we practice.
Enemies
Keep going.
on orbit.
Try and blow it up before it hits it.
Yeah.
You don't have to aim for the dynamite. Okay. Hold on a sec. Everyone, don't move. Pyrathian, you see their shields? Look at where my boop goes, okay? You aim there. Do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
You aim there, and then you do like 10 pixels down.
You can watch the stream as well.
Yeah, you
See where
aim.
he's looking.
You aim. The dynamite works this way. You throw it straight, and if you don't move your mouse left or right, you'll always
It
hit
lands
it.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
I
you'll
know.
always hit it. So you try to aim it above, lower the mouse a little bit.
Yeah.
So don't try throw the distance without the Orisa hold. Just throw the distance. You need to throw it higher.
Keep throwing it too low, I don't know why.
Okay, that was the right height, but you need to hit it. Now, very nice, perfect.
Fixing you up.
Alright.
Try again, without the Orisa hold.
Here it comes.
Very nice, impressive. You need to like wait a nanosecond longer, because that just hit on the on the edge of the shield. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold and do the thing. Orisa. Oh, missed. Try again. Oh, perfect.
Go.
Nice. You can throw Bob away just so he can be extremely impressed with how fast your ult charges.
Aloha.
Okay.
Hey, dude. Hola.
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Too low?
Barrier in place.
Missed?
3, 2, 1.
Hey.
How the heck? Why? Go! 3, 2, 1.
Put your shield over Orisa so they know what's up.
3, 2, 1. Stop hacking!
Say.
Too soon?
I will say this is getting slightly annoying.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, but unfortunately it's something you have to
Yeah. Oh,
practice very hard.
work on
So homework. Now, let's make some changes. Pyrathian, now you're stuck in our team. And who else is DPS? Who's DPS on Horizon?
Mercy. but Casper's doing it for now.
Okay, Casper
Yeah, I'm
then.
just trying it out.
Let's give you a shot. Take Ash.
Let them out.
Everyone group up here. Place your shields. Let Casper land 3 of these holds. And we try harder.
76, reporting for duty.
3, 2, 1.
Barrier in place.
Too soon, too low. Try again.
3, 2, 1.
Nice. That hit. 2 more. Too low.
3.
3 more now. Still too low. You need to aim like there, dude.
Make sure you're throwing it after the Orisa.
Throwing it too high is like not bad here. Throwing it too low is gonna give you a hard time.
3, 2, 1.
Missed?
Hola.
3, 2, 1.
Observe the barrier.
Enemies on my radar.
You prick, stop please. Not yet. You'll have your chance.
She got
It's pretty difficult to practice if you do that, you know?
Yeah, please stop, guys. Come on, focus up. I know it's boring, but what can
Yo,
you do?
someone go Orisa again so they know how high to go it. Come on. Stop this.
I got Orisa.
I will
Yeah, thank you.
Orisa is.
Wait, why don't we have an Orisa? What happened?
She changed
Yeah,
to
so it goes-
Oh, yeah, sorry. You changed
This
it
is
again,
high
I
enough.
realized that was Orisa.
Thanks, Rima.
Bad Jet, bad.
Sorry. We'll go back to my place.
Following my programming.
Okay, so we have an Orisa now? You can stay, Anna, it doesn't really matter. Okay.
1.
Okay, too low and too soon. Try aim higher. Like, aim high, dude. Higher. Higher. Higher.
Just like windows over there. There
Okay,
you go.
there you go. That was perfect. Higher.
Hi.
Okay, that's the
Nice.
second one.
3, 2, 1.
Ah, you missed. Like, give me one more. It's okay, give me one more.
3, 2, 1.
Too soon. One more successful, please. Focus.
2, 1.
Behind the barrier.
Very nice. Okay. Let's give Rima a try.
You look tired.
I'll go switch to Orisa.
Yep, cool.
This is exactly why the movement speed is
Oh,
here.
you want? Alright, well, never mind.
Wait, I
Wait,
swapped the
we-
wrong guy.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, Casper, can you go Orisa when you
I can
want
go
to?
Orisa, yeah.
Oh, wait.
And I swapped the... yeah. No, it's okay now. It's okay, it's okay. Fall back.
Let them out.
No, Rima should be Ash. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
There, yeah.
Hey,
Real
we made
professional.
it.
Get behind
Okay, give it a try.
Ready? 3,
Yeah.
1.
Too soon, too low.
Regen up.
Stop blocking it, the Preek.
Heal up here.
2, 1.
Too low, too soon. Come on, dude, aim like there.
Got you good as new.
Window.
2,
Aim
And
window.
like there, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, but if you shoot it when after we get hold, then your dynamite hits, even if it's that high.
3, 1.
It's not there though.
Taransi! Taransi!
Sorry. I come here.
3, 2, 1.
Missed?
I missed.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, too low,
3, 2, 1.
too soon.
3, 2, 1.
Very nice. Aim higher, dude. The reason you don't hit these is because you hit shields. Rima, look at me, look at me. Where have you... shoot where have you been aiming? Please shoot on the wall where have you been... There? Okay, dude. Aim there. Yeah, that high.
No, like that, I think. Maybe.
Okay. Let's try.
You'll feel better
This will
soon.
help.
3, 2,
Spotted them.
1.
Very nice. Give me 2 more.
2, 1.
Let's go.
Very nice. 1 more. You can do it.
See that hit without even the ult. That was good.
Get in there.
Ah, missed. Okay, 1 more. Very nice. You got it. Okay, enough of that shit. So, you saw it, I think, even a couple of times in the game, where they halted like 5 and they dynamite, and the Ashe instantly has ult. It's such a powerful combo. It's the only reason you play Ashe instead of Widow, honestly. The dynamite. It just gets so much value. And by the way, if you do that, the enemy team can't push. They just can't. They're all damaged. They're all suffering damage. Like the Baptiste is working overtime, healing everyone, and they have to fall back. So even if you're at a disadvantage, if you do that, the enemy team has to fall back and respect you. That ability combo is free space. Especially if you rock in there as well, and like Baptiste gets a shot, Genji dashes, and yeah, that's a team kill. So now let's do it like against. Let's try and spawn camp bots for a sec, or maybe not even. Okay, just trust me. When I say that if the Genji holds, if you do this combo, right? Orisa pulls, Sigma rocks, one of them, doesn't really matter. Genji dashes through and Ashe throws the dynamite, that's a fight win. That's better than any ultimate you can use in that situation. Because an ultimate, your character screams and everyone on the server hears it. When you hold, it's silent. You can surprise hold the enemy and surprise dynamite the enemy and surprise dash the enemy, so on and so forth. So technically, these abilities are better than ultimates. And now you finally know why everyone are playing Ashe Genji double shield. Yeah. So anyways, that's it for the lesson today. That was an hour. It's very nice. So Dawn go Dawn, Horizon go Horizon, and just do your thing. If you need me, ping me. I'll scrub between both teams, and yeah.
Alright, thanks, coach.
Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah. Thanks, X-Ray.
You're welcome. See you around.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.
Why are you meeting so many people today?
Come again?
We're missing like our 2 main players. Well, our core.
Noblin and Chief had to go after that first game, and then
yeah, unfortunately.
Noblin's having fun.
Yeah, Noblin's like high in the sky or something.
I mean, he did change his profile pic recently.
Yeah,
to be honest, I can like. You might play better high, you know.
Dude, I play so
take
much
more
better
risks.
high. I play so much better high, dude.
You can? How? How do you do that?
Practice.
Nah, no way. No
I smoked
way.
so much drugs, dude. They don't affect me that much anymore.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
no, but
scary,
having a high tolerance isn't even that great though.
No, it sucks. It's very expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the thing about weed is it's kind of like, I don't know if you have that sentence in English, but it's something good that also has like an obvious flaw to it.
Right.
So it's good, but it also shoots you in the leg every time you try to do something.
Okay.
So
why though? Where?
The problem with marijuana is it's that it hinders memory. And Overwatch is like very memory dependent game because you constantly have to remind yourself all the mistakes you've done in the past, and it's kind of hard to play like that when you really can't remember all the shit you've done and you're just like there struggling. Like, why do I keep dying? I don't know.
You're just playing on instinct.
Yeah, you're just playing on instinct, so you don't want to do that. But mechanically, dude, I click heads so better when I'm high.
I mean, that's probably like you're viewing everything in slow motion. Depends on how you are.
It's not
when you're high.
really slow motion. Like, don't believe anything the Hollywood has told you about drugs. It's just.
It's not slow motion. It's like.
Is that
It's
because
like-
there are a lot of
it's like
videos
hazy.
talking about being Anna on drugs or Ash on drugs?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's the next Twitch challenge.
What, Road to GM? Hi.
Unranked to top 500.
And you have to
every
smoke a
every
gram
time you
of
lose.
And you
yeah.
have to smoke a gram of marijuana every hour.
Or
Until you
every
die.
time you die.
Dude, you're dead. You're dead. You're
Dude, take a
dead
hit
by
every time you die. Dude, take a hit every time you die. No. I'll just die with my hero every time.
Jeez. Are we gonna do some rank then, or?
You can do some
Something
rank.
you guys-
I don't mind. I'm not gonna play with you because I'm dog shit, and yeah, and I want to smoke some weed as well. So
All right, have fun.
I'll be here though. I'll coach you through the entire thing.
Nah, you're gonna be like, bro, stop doing that. Like, you're gonna be whiny as shit.
I'm not gonna play comp today. As I
Let me
played
ask
a
you
lot
something,
for
the prick.
this morning.
Alright, that's fine.
Alrighty, Rima. Don't worry about it.
Sadly.
It's okay. It's okay. Just play whenever you feel. Don't worry about it.
Yep. Good luck in your games.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you around.
See ya.
Duprick, let me ask you a question. Be straightforward. Have
Yeah.
you ever noticed, in the entire time that you know me, have you ever noticed that I'm high? I take that awkward silence as a no, and I hereby tell you that 80
wait.
80 to 90% of the time that we VOD review and I coach you, dude, I'm balls to the walls in a different dimension, imagining like gnomes and shit. But I still coach, because drugs aren't really like they tell you in
Nah, I mean, like,
media and so forth.
something like weed isn't that bad, you know, like, there's not a really negative impact of weed. You don't get addicted to it physically.
Exactly. And besides
Same
that,
thing.
alcohol destroys your liver, makes
Yeah.
your kidneys like stony, and it's generally bad for your brain. But the thing,
Yeah.
and it's legal in like everywhere, I guess. And we've been feeding our children cocaine for like years. So with like all these like ADHD pills and so on and so forth. I don't know what they call them in your country. In my country they called Ritalin. Ratlin. Whatever that means.
Even LSD isn't too bad. Like,
No, dude, LSD is the
no,
worst.
no. Man, like, as in what it gives you, that's bad. Like, what you start to imagine, that's bad. But like physically, chemically, that's not too bad.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't really damage the body, but it damages the mind like quite severely. You're not the same person before and after you take it. It's
Yeah,
not
for sure.
necessarily a bad thing, but it makes you think in a completely different way.
You just trip balls, man.
Yeah, for 12 hours, by the way. For 12 hours. It takes 12 hours to metabolize in your blood. Dude, that's insane.